Well, greetings from LMS Tactical. Today I have sort of a combination video for you that has to do with a really fine weapon platform, I think, and somewhat of a, I don't know, kind of a funny story, I guess, or a sad story, or just one of those human interest stories that goes along with it. And the weapon that I'm talking about is the 45 caliber Webley revolver. This weapon, not this particular weapon, although maybe, but the Webley is steeped in history, and I don't profess to know the details of that history, but the more I look into it and the more I research this weapon, or this particular model of weapon, the more I have come to understand and respect its history. It's a weapon that served the Brits through a number of conflicts, and it's just a neat weapon. I mean, it's I've never fired it. Not sure that I ever will, because I don't really know the I'd have to have it looked at. I can't verify the conditions of this particular weapon, but for those that don't know, it's a break front. Again, like I said, it was a 45. It's a 45 caliber, and what makes it so cool in this particular case is that I have not just this one, but I actually have two. And this one here on my left looks like it's been re-blued at some point in history, and this one still has the original flat surface. Now, if you look at some of my other videos that I have, you'll notice that a lot of the older weapons I have, there's a theme that seems to be prevalent in terms of the cost of the weapon. On the French Moss, on the British 303 SMLE, the Carl Gustav that I just posted a video up there tonight asking for some people to, whoever could help me with some information on that weapon. Each one of them, I always say, it cost me $50. $50. I got everything for $50. Well, each one of these cost me $50. And I've been offered I was just recently offered $600 cash for the Carl Gustav. But I'm not good at selling weapons. I just tend to want to keep them. So you might be wondering, why is LMS Tactical getting all these weapons for $50? Probably about 25 years ago, a friend of mine ran into a lady, figuratively, whose husband had died, and he had a house full of weapons. And I mean, a lot of modern weapons too, and this is back in the 80s, early 80s, so there were Tech 9s and Uzis and all kinds of stuff going on. But he was just a firearms collector, and I was extremely broke, of course, during this one moment in my life when I wished I would have had some money. But by the time everybody got done picking through, the deceased person's wife had basically said, "Hey, just get rid of these weapons." She didn't want to have anything to do with them. And this was long before I was as into firearms as I am now. And so she basically was letting everything go for nothing. She was extremely wealthy. And by the time I got there, there were very, very few weapons left, and they were all the old weapons. But she said, "Yeah, you can take each weapon, $50. $50 for whatever you want." And I grabbed these two Webleys. That's $100. I grabbed that French Moss, knew nothing about it. Grabbed the Enfield, the Gustav, Carl Gustav. Grab a couple more handguns, and at $50 each. So that's the reason that you're seeing me post the videos with these weapons that I don't really know a lot about. But now at this point in my life, I'm interested. Now, here comes the sad story. I had gone through a divorce, and during my divorce, I took all my weapons and had them stored at a friend's house. And my friend was a man in his very late 80s. And little did I know that he was putting them up in the crawl space over his garage in boxes. And when the time came to, I'd relocated and and the time came for me to retrieve my weapons, he says, you know, I've got some bad news for you. I was pulling that box out of the crawl space and the Webleys fell all the way down to the floor. And don't worry though, I glued the grips back together. So, you know, what are you going to do with a guy that's, you know, 88 years old, World War II B-29 or B-17 bomber crew member guy? I mean, you're not going to say anything to a guy like that. But I weep inside every time I see, this is his, I don't know if you can see it, but this line right here is where he glued it, and who knows what other damage was sustained. I can tell you that this one here, I can see that there's some scratches on it that weren't there. You know, the height of a garage crawl space onto a garage concrete floor is pretty hard fall for any weapon. So thank God they're not too damaged, but I could have swore he said there was something else wrong. But anyways, you can see the lanyard. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of interesting markings, stamps and stuff, and maybe some of you can identify some of these stamps. Let me see if I can get them up on the, well, you can see them on the cylinder on this one. If I stop moving it. Let me get that up there. You got that. The cylinder's pretty well stamped, and then you got right there. I'm making this video off my laptop, so the quality is not going to be extremely well. But I just didn't feel like setting up the other camera. And then right here, you can see some. I don't know if you can make those out or not. But just cool weapons, you know. Cool weapons. I remember the first time I ever saw these weapons in a movie was, if any of you ever saw, oh, I just noticed there's an M stamped right here. I never noticed that. But if any of you ever watched the movie Zulu Dawn, or I think that's what it was called. Of course, the British officers were all carrying Webleys just like this. But anyways, that's my video. Sorry if I was just rambling, but I'm in one of those rambling moods. So I hope you guys had a great weekend, and please leave some comments. I like hearing from you guys. There's nothing worse. For those that have made videos, you know, there's nothing worse than making a video and you check it a month later and there's like one comment. Yeah, I'm very sensitive to those comments. Take care.